All right, welcome in. It's a brand new edition of the Utah Hockey Club show here on the KSL Sports Network. That's right. We have decided to give up the RSL show. We are now a hockey podcast. And because, Josh, let me tell you, that game on Tuesday was absolutely incredible.
Oh, it was a good time. Very happy I was able to watch that. I wish I could have gone, but just seeing it on TV was incredible. Utah's ready for hockey, I think.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind after seeing, I was up here at the KSL studio. So, I walked around the plaza a little bit just outside the Delta Centers right there. So, got to walk around, see all the people. There was a lot of people, man. It was super exciting to just see all this unfold. Happy that not one hockey's here and happy that Utah's already embracing the hockey.
Absolutely. I mean, I think Utahns embrace every sport that comes through. I don't think that's ever an issue. So, the energy, you could feel it through the TV. I hope it goes throughout the year, and the fans can help this team actually make a cool run in the playoffs or something. That'd be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. First year they go out and they do something special. That would be absolutely incredible.
Who's your front runner for favorite player?
Oh, it might be an easy answer, but I'm going to say Clayton Keller,
The captain.
the captain. Yeah.
Okay, that's a good choice. I'm gonna stick with I'm gonna go with Mikhail Sergachev. I love a big defenseman in
Okay.
hockey.
All right.
That's where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, hockey was amazing. Hockey was super fun to see. Glad it's here. Glad they got off to a win. Such a historic night. And now let's get into RSL.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're really looking for some hockey podcasts, I noticed that space is absolutely blown up, and there is no shortage right now. So go pick your favorite one and give it a go.
Absolutely. Welcome in. It's a brand new episode of the RSL Show. Alex Napoles, Josh Clark. Josh, how you doing, man?
I'm good. It's a little late on a Wednesday, but here we are. Finally found some time to get this done.
Absolutely. It's been a busy week again, knee deep in hockey here at KSL, and so we're busting this out when we can.
Yeah, so the Real Salt Lakes. How you feeling, Alex?
Dude, hey, it's good to get back to winning ways. Good to get back in the win column. Good to find the 3 points on the road. You'll take points on the road any day of the week. I feel you go on the road, you'll absolutely take that. However, not the best of performances from Real Salt Lake.
No. Like, RSL being themselves, the version of RSL we know they can be, should have won that game by 6 goals. Let's be real. So the fact that we only scored 1, granted we did keep a clean sheet, but the fact that we only scored 1 is kind of concerning.
Yes.
I know we had an offside goal from Chicho. That would have been great, but even a 2-0 would feel kind of disappointing at this point.
Well, and this is a San Jose team who has really struggled to defend.
They're terrible.
They're the worst team defensively in the league, and between both games that Real Salt Lake played against San Jose, you're only able to manage 1 goal, right? Because the one here at America First, you end up losing 2-0. Then you go on the road, you do get the win. So you do win some of those points back. However, not in the most of convincing performances for RSL.
No, not if you're looking at the playoffs, right? Looking at the stronger teams we're going to be coming up against, not the wooden spoon holders.
Yep. This is that first half, it was very bland. That's probably the only word that I can think of to describe that first half. It was just very bland. Nothing really happened for either sides. A little bit of a rotated lineup for Real Salt Lake, which is fine, right? You just had the midweek against Minnesota, which we didn't even really talk about either.
Yeah, we'll just say disappointing.
And that was disappointing too.
Yeah.
But then you go on the road, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just a really bland performance in the first half. There's nothing that even sticks out that I can remember in that first half that either gave me confidence or made me feel good about Real Salt Lake. Yeah, they had a couple of good opportunities and a couple of good moments, but still just not a good performance for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, it was a lot of simple possession, not under pressure, right? Around the back line, at that halfway line. Nothing really to write home about, right? San Jose sat back, they parked the bus a bit, and couldn't break them down. And when you can't break down the worst defense, Terrifying.
Real Salt Lake does make some changes in the second half. You mentioned Chicho Arango having the offside goal. Chicho Arango checks in the 53rd, and immediately you can see a little bit more life in the attack.
Mm-hmm.
There was definitely an injection of energy into the attack once Chicho was introduced into the game. Had the goal that was taken off. Sucks because that was the goal. That was the goal for his confidence, man. That was the goal he needed to not only break the record, but just to get back feeling confident and
Right.
get back to the early season Chicho.
Yeah. Now he has to wait 2 more weeks for another opportunity, and I just have a feeling he's not going to score until the playoffs. That's my fear.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
valid fear.
Yeah. So we'll see. Leaving one game left to break the record, right? That's kind of fairy tale, but I don't like it.
Yeah,
That's I don't like it, and I'd rather him beat the goal by multiple, not one.
and I would rather him come into this final stretch and into playoffs feeling a little bit more confident.
Yeah, a little more on fire. So we really need him to score against Vancouver, right? Even if we lose, we just need Chicho to score.
I want to talk about Diego Luna, man, because he's kind of a guy that we've seen in past games kind of schemed out of games. Teams have done a really good job defensively to kind of take Diego Luna out of his rhythm and out of a good performance. But in this one, because of the rotations, the creativity, the everything going forward went through Diego Luna, and I thought he had a really phenomenal game.
Yeah, he looked incredible. I feel like they gave him more of a free role, right? Gave him a pass to kind of roam, and they really need to do that more often. He looked so good. He quite literally carried this RSL team on his back, for this match against San Jose.
Marchuk continues to show glimpses of what he can bring and what he can do. I was also impressed with him. A little bit of a better performance from Diogo. I feel like this is a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more. We're starting to see a little bit more of the Diogo that, as we've mentioned in the past, coming over from Champions League soccer. I like what I saw from him a little bit more than in previous games.
Yeah, he felt a lot more involved, right? And I think he bought into the press a little more as well. Yeah, so solid game from him. Didn't find myself, really raging towards him, but he did play alongside Matt Crooks, and I wonder if that helped.
And then there was also Palacio, who I thought came in, coming back from injury, gets his first start in a little bit, rotation for Emeka and Nelly. And I thought Palacio looked really well too.
Yeah, this midfield is going to cause some extreme headaches this offseason for RSL. There's no doubt
Yes.
about it.
Yes.
How do you fit Ruiz? How do you fit Ruiz back in?
What do you do? Who do you
I don't
who do
know.
you sacrifice? Who do you take out? Where
Right? Do
like
you sell
how
anyone?
how quickly does first of all, I think the big question is how quickly does Ruiz get back integrated into the group? How
I
quickly do we
mean,
see 2021 Pablo Ruiz and early 22 Pablo Ruiz before he got injured really be back for Real Salt Lake?
it's going to be a big mountain for him to climb because you can't argue with that partnership of Emeka and Ojeda right now, right? You can't even disrupt it. You can't even think about disrupting it. And Palacio looks good, so it's going to be a legit battle for that 3 spot.
Oh yeah.
And the guys. I know you want depth right in this position, but having 4 guys of that caliber, it's just not going to work, right? Someone's going to get unsettled. Do you have that much money invested into the 4 spots when only 2 of them are playing, right? So, maybe someone moves on. If we get a solid offer for one of the 4, they probably pull the trigger.
Could be, and that's we'll can that conversation, and we'll revisit in throughout
Yeah,
our off season shows because that's something that I think a lot of the fan base right now isn't thinking about. But the second Real Lake the season's over, and the second decisions have to be made, and it's going to become a hot topic because as we're saying right now, it's going to be a very interesting situation to see fold out or play out.
yeah, yep. And I'll say this: I'm pretty sure Emeka's safe, right? He's the lowest budget hit out of that 4, and has been the most impressive. So, either a big money offer comes in for Ojeda, or I could see Palacio moving on. we'll see. It's gonna be interesting. We'll save that for the offseason, though. You're right.
How about Philip Quinton?
Man, I hate that you're making me say this, but he looked fine. Just fine though. I mean, it was San Jose, right? He should
Sure,
look fine against San Jose.
sure. Um, uh, Philip Quinton, man, I think has taken a major, major step forward to where he was even a month ago.
I'd agree. I'd absolutely agree.
He looks a lot better defensively. Him and Glad have kind of really started taking looking really good, whether he's on the right or whether he's in that middle. Him and Glad are starting to really build some chemistry, and we're seeing it now kind of pay off where Philip Quinton has looked just so much better.
Yeah, no, and I'm honestly fine with it. I'm happy about it. Right? Am I still nervous when he's out there? Yes. But the thing I do love about him is he buys in. Right? He's definitely not an ego guy. He's there doing whatever coach is telling him to do. So that I appreciate about him. And I would agree his performance against Minnesota was good, and his performance against San Jose was good. Didn't feel like we were going to lose because he was on the field.
A little bit of concern for me. I don't know if you feel the same way, Josh, but there's a little bit of a concern for me that Alex Catranis is out of form right now. I wasn't necessarily impressed with Catranis being introduced back into the lineup. A lot of bad giveaways when trying to get forward. And that's really what the most I can remember from Catranis in this one against San Jose.
Yeah, not the sharpest, just a okay performance. Um, if it's a dip, I hope it's just a dip in form. I hope he's not unsettled. If it's just a dip in form, he'll be back to his old self in no time.
A little, just for me, the form comes into a little bit of a concern considering that you have one game left, and Catranis has been a lockdown starting 11 player for me all season long. But now the question is, for as long as he's, I mean, obviously you want to give him time to get on to be on the field and work out of that, but right now, not necessarily the most ideal time to have a player out of form.
Yeah, and it does suck, but luckily he's not out of form defensively, if that makes sense. So valuable going forward, absolutely. We need him to, but as long as he's not making big defensive gaffes,
Yeah,
it's fine. He'll
yeah.
figure it out.
And the big question: who's the keeper heading into the playoffs? Is it Zach McMath or is it Gavin Beavers?
At this point, right, you got to go with the veteran, which I don't love, but I think you have to. Right, Beavers was struggling. Right, he was leaking a lot of goals. I know the team in front of him didn't help. Um, and I know we've said you got to give him time, but playoffs are a little bit of a different story. So yeah, I'm gonna go McMath. But I also feel like we may need to invest in a goalkeeper this offseason. At least a solid McMath esque guy that's okay playing half the games, right? Or send Beavers on loan. Hear me out. Send Beavers on loan to somewhere he's going to get a lot of minutes.
I think this is a difficult conversation because a big part of me wants to continue to roll out Gavin Beavers and wants to continue to let the young kid grow and learn in game situations. That's fine with me. However, yes. However, I would also be okay allowing Zach McMath be number 2 while you bring in a higher caliber goalkeeper in the offseason.
So you're saying get rid of Beavers?
Cash in if you can.
I mean, yeah, we should anyway, right? He's at the prime age to sell, so
Yeah.
absolutely. If there's an offer on the table, do it and have McMath sit as 2 with a bigger name. I guess not a bigger name, right? We're not going to go get David De Gea, but a more steady number 1.
They could have. He was there. He was free agent for a year. And I'm honestly surprised he didn't come to MLS.
I'm a little bit, but his salary at Manchester United was insane, right? And I just don't know what he was asking for.
Yeah. Goalkeeper is a position that I think Rouse Lake can invest in and get and increase or get better if they really wanted to. However, I think with Gavin and with Will McKay and with Fernando Delgado on the pipeline, I just don't necessarily see that's going to be a position where Real Salt will drop money to really improve.
No, yeah, I wouldn't see it as like a GAM or DP kind of thing. It wouldn't be a goalkeeper like that.
Yeah. All right, back to San Jose. We talk about Luna and the great performance that he had, and again, just really controlling that midfield. And Josh, let me take you back to a year ago. Heading down the stretch, Real Lake's on the road at Colorado in desperate need of points. And who else steps up in about kind of the same time? Luna. This one was the 78th. In the 72nd, he scored the winner against Colorado. And so it's just basically a carbon copy of what Diego Luna did last year for Real Lake. Now he did this year, and it gives Real Lake 3 points on the road at San Jose.
And a beautiful goal at that.
Oof.
Absolutely beautiful.
Golazo of a goal.
He's incredible, man. The fact that we were able to hang on to him through the summer kind of blows my mind.
It's great that they did, because we talked a lot about it in the summer and how important it was going to be to keep this group together if Real Lake really wanted to push for a cup. I know we lost Gomez, but Luna, I think, just still brings you a really much needed creative factor in the attack for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I'd argue that Luna is way more creative than Gomez, right? Gomez is definitely a winger, run fast, win that ball, cut it back, shoot kind of guy, right? But Diego Luna, just magic on the ball. I don't know how he keeps that thing so close to his feet and just dribbles everyone he sees. He's so good. You're right though. If we would have lost Luna and Gomez, big
we're having a whole we're having a whole
wolf.
different conversation.
Yeah, we're starting Michael Chang and Gozo, Bodie Hidalgo, right? Like drastic difference.
Yeah. Happy to see him. Plus, I feel like he needed this performance, man. Happy to see him get this performance, because I think he is one of the players that definitely needed it. As I was mentioning earlier, a lot of teams have done a really good job of taking him out of games. He's also been a guy that I haven't really seen much in the last stretch, and so it's amazing for him to get on the score sheet to hopefully build up that confidence and get that Diego Luna that, again, started the year and did a lot in the attack for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, again, great for confidence, right? It's kind of the same thing we want to see for Chicho, for Catranis. So at least we got one guy moving in the right direction, confidence-wise.
1-0 win on the road to San Jose, and that secures Real Lake at the minimum two home playoff games, because they now have it secured for the best 2 of 3 first round that MLS does now.
That's right. If the Western Conference was an EPL table, we just got a Champions League spot, so that's fine by me.
Yes, Real Salt Lake now have at least the one game with home field advantage. They need to still, of course, play this last game, get better seeding. It would be really nice to maybe jump up to that 3rd place spot and avoid Houston, because I don't want Houston. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, no, thank you. I am very, very, very excited for a home playoff game, though. There's nothing like it.
Yes. Plus, you have the 2 if need be, right? You get the first one at home, then you go on the road. If the series is all tied up, you get that extra one at home. And I think, honestly, that helped Houston out a lot last year. Real Salt Lake going back to Houston. Hey, you did a great job winning on penalties here at home. They held them to penalties on the road, but still, that's an extra home field advantage for Houston, right? You still get that extra game. So now, reverse it. Real Lake can potentially get those 2 extra ones, and playoff environment here in Utah, here in Sandy, here at America First, is always absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's unreal. But let's be honest, right? Musovski should have not have been in that game. Should have been Damir Kreilach. Entirely different story.
Yes.
I digress.
You're not forgetting that one anytime soon.
Never. I'm bitter till the end. Also, what happened to Danny Musovsky, right? Glad we didn't pay him the big money.
Right.
If we do get Colorado in the playoffs, that's a must-away trip.
Yeah.
A playoff game in Colorado,
Yeah.
bro.
Colorado with their loss, they fall to 6. So as of right now, Seattle would have Colorado, and then Real Salt Lake would have Houston.
Yeah, so let's jump up to third, leave Colorado in 6. Good to go.
Also, major Champions League or Champions Cup implications on the line on decision day, because if Seattle Sounders holds on to that third place seed and Real Salt Lake can't get back up to third place, Seattle Sounders would get the qualifier for Champions Cup, not Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, even more reason to get third there, boys. I believe Seattle needs to lose, though, right?
Seattle needs to lose. Yes, right. So right now, looking at the table, sitting at the top, LA Galaxy 64, second LAFC with 58. They have a game this weekend with Vancouver. I imagine they beat Vancouver and secure that second place spot. You look at third with Seattle 56, Real Salt Lake in fourth with 56, Houston in fifth with 51, Colorado in sixth with 50, 7 Minnesota with 49, 8 Vancouver with 47, and 9 Portland with 46. Again, LAFC have that game on Saturday against Vancouver, but you look at decision day, Houston taking on LA Galaxy, LAFC taking on San Jose, Minnesota St. Louis, Real Salt Lake Vancouver, and Seattle Sounders Portland. Those are the matchups on decision day for the Western Conference teams. Portland needs to beat Seattle, and Austin, Colorado. I totally missed that one. And I would say Austin needs to beat Colorado, because then that would allow Real Salt Lake to have Colorado, not only have Colorado in the playoffs in that first round, but jump Seattle on the table and secure that qualifier for Champions Cup.
Having the Cascadia Cup on decision day, bonkers decision, and I'm here for it.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Give me all the
It should
chaos.
be the rivalry weekend.
Yeah.
Every time.
I'd be okay with it.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
The stress, oh my lord.
Well, I mean, go back to 21. Go back to 21 when Rouse Lake are on decision day at Sporting Kansas, who at that time, right? Sporting Kansas is still a big rival. We're always going to hate Sporting Kansas City. And, you know,
the miracle.
Exactly. That I think doing it to Sporting Kansas City against a rival, I think that just adds a little bit more to it. That just gives a little bit more, gives it a little bit more drama, gives a little bit more excitement.
A little more zazz.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the game that it feels really good or it feels really bad.
Yeah. But that's what makes us love the sport. That's what makes us love soccer. And so I would this is our petition. We're sending it in. Major League Soccer decision day needs to be rivals. It needs to be rivalry weekend just to make it a little bit better.
That you want ratings? There you go.
Yeah. All right. Josh. Oh, we need to talk about this. Yes, again, apologies for missing the Minnesota game in that minute and not being able to break it down. But in that Minnesota game, we do have to hit on Brayan Vera.
Yeah. What is it with Brayan Vera and the end of the season?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe a long season. He's just ready to get to the playoffs, and he's, I don't know, makes a boneheaded decision.
It's wild. This one, though, I mean, I'm not going to roast him for too long. He got his punishment. But in the age of VAR, why are you spitting on someone? Why are you doing it? You have to, like, it's not like you accidentally kicked him. You have to, like, actually try and do it. Why are we doing it? It's gross. It's so gross.
It's poor decision. Incredibly poor decision for Brayan Vera.
Bad timing.
I do want to bring and I do want to talk about Michael Boxhall too, because I thought Boxhall just absolutely got under Rouse Lake's skin.
He was filthy all night long.
Absolutely. And I think he should have been either booked. I think there was a shirt tug on Luna, right? He got the yellow card for that. But before that, there was a blatant foul on Chicho that I think deserved a yellow card as well.
Yeah. He
And
should have been sent off.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we probably shouldn't even got to that point. Michael Boxall, however, because of how dirty he was, got under the skin of some of the RSL players, including Brayan Vera, and that I think the corner right before the mass confrontation and the fight took place, Brayan Vera was on the ground. I think there was clearly blood coming off of him. I don't know I don't remember what happened exactly, but I do remember Boxall was the one who was marking Vera.
Yep.
And so it's in retaliation, Vera decides to go and spit in Boxall's face, and of course VAR picks it up.
Yeah. Honestly, I would have rather him like actually headbutted him or something. Right?
Yeah.
Boneheaded, but not gross.
Yeah. The reason I bring this up is because the MLS Disciplinary Commission finally came down on Real Salt Lake for that mass confrontation, including fining the club, fining head coach Pablo Mastroeni, fining Brayan Vera, fining Carlos Harvey for Minnesota, and then adding an extra 2-game suspension for Brayan Vera for violating the spitting policy. So Brayan Vera will be out against Vancouver. He cannot play the decision day game and will be out against whoever Real Salt Lake decides to face in the first round. He'll miss that first game of playoffs for RSL.
Yeah. Absolutely unfortunate timing, right? Like, my guy, you can't do it right now. If you're gonna freak out, do it early in the year. It really sucks, right? But it is what it is. I feel like we always have some kind of adversity going into the playoffs, no matter what. So hopefully this is it for us.
I think teams definitely pick on Vera.
Yeah, because he clearly is such a competitor that he's gonna, he's gonna get back at you somehow.
Yep. Houston has figured it out, and I can't tell you the amount of times Bossy's gone after Brayan Vera. Colorado figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. Was it Bassett? I think it was Bassett.
I think it was. It was him or the other guy that I don't care to know his name. So
Mihalovic.
Yeah, that's the one.
I can't remember who, but there was a dust up. Colorado, they were targeting Vera as well in that first game. Teams are figuring it out, and I think it's not good. Because one, Vera's an incredibly solid defender. You want him on the field, but two, the second team start targeting, going after him, and things like that is going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen because they're targeting Brayan Vera.
Yeah, you almost want Pablo to start playing someone else in that spot for those games, right? Just to kind of eliminate the mind games, Go ahead and talk to Philip Quinton. He's just gonna look down on you, right? But we'll see. It might be something to watch out for when we start playing against these teams again, when he's not suspended. If we leave him off because we know the other team knows how to get to him. I don't know. It's interesting.
Exactly, and I specifically bring that up because it's a very big chance for RSL plays Houston in that first round. And I mean, we've seen Houston get under Vera's skin quite a few times
every single game.
Yeah. Yep. Josh, I think that'll wrap it up for today, man. Anything else you want to add on? Anything else you want to say before we get on out of here?
No, sir. We'll get back together next week and prepare for Vancouver.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, hey, if you are bored over the weekend, go watch Dominic Markzuk over with the Polish U20 side. Gavin Beavers called up to the U20 US side, and Xavier Goso called up to the U19 side. So we'll have some guys away from the group. We'll be away for a little bit as we enjoy the international break, and then we'll be back, like Josh said, next week for Vancouver and Decision Day, the final day.
I can't believe the season's over.
I know, man. It's flown by.
It flew by, and then I felt like the summer, the brakes hit.
Yes.
With Chicho and the Leagues Cup, and then this little second half, the second stretch has also flown by. So,
oh yeah, I was just having this conversation yesterday. The season has flown by, but it also feels like it's taken forever to get here because of how many breaks RSL had.
Yeah, it feels like an oxymoron, but it's how I feel. So
yeah,
we'll roll with it.
That's going to do it for us here on the RSL Show. Don't forget to go subscribe, go follow, go do what you have to do to follow the RSL Show on the KSL Sports Network for the best RSL content.